But I think laying the foundation for this is what we have to do to compete at a championship level. Yeah. Like this is why home court matters. This is why you can't have off. This is why we can't be 11th in the league in defense, right? Like we got to get to at least middle of the pack. All of those different things. And so as a competitor, it's exciting.
Did you hear what Stephanie White said about Caitlyn Clark? It's surprising. Stephanie White, the new head coach of the Indiana Fever, made a shocking comment during an interview.
And it's exciting to coach generational talents, and that outweighs the other stuff that we might have to deal with.
And now everyone is talking about it. She didn't just talk about how great Caitlyn Clark is, she said something that could change the whole WNBA. Want to know what it is? Coach White has known Caitlyn since middle school. And there's more. Another coach shared an incredible story about Clark that you won't believe.
Do I think it's going to be a seamless transition? No. I mean, it's going to take some time. Sure. And just like any young team, I mean, you don't get back-to-back number one picks by being really talented early, right? Just like any young team, it's going to take some time. Yeah. And it's we got to put some pieces together, and we've got to continue to build. So managing expectations is going to be important.
Ready to hear it? Imagine a crowded gym with a young player dribbling past her opponents. This wasn't just any player, it was an 8th grade Caitlyn Clark. Hard to believe, right? For years, Steph
started watching Caitlyn Clark when she was in the 8th grade when I was at Vanderbilt.
How about that?
And then I called a lot of her games in college when she was at Iowa. And so I've really watched her continue to learn and grow, and I have great relationships with her college coaches and had multiple conversations with them throughout the course of her career about what the next steps would be, right? And what the next level would be.
Stephanie White has been watching Caitlyn's journey from a middle school player to a college star. But she didn't just watch, she studied Clark, analyzing her game and dreaming of coaching her one day. Now, White isn't just praising Caitlyn, she's explaining how watching her for so long has helped her understand Clark's game better. It's like White.
Caitlyn isn't just great for women's basketball, she is great for the entire game. She's more than just points.
She absolutely is. I mean, let's not forget, this is a young woman who led the nation in assists as well. She's accomplished records that haven't ever been accomplished in the sport of collegiate basketball.
Has been preparing for this moment her whole career. White sees Caitlyn Clark as more than just a basketball player. She calls her a rare, once-in-a-generation talent. White talks about Clark's skills and how she makes her teammates better, showing how special Clark really is. White is also super excited about coaching Clark and the Fever, feeling...
I'm looking forward to, when you think about Caitlyn Clark and a generational talent, and, the sometimes overlooked Kelsey Mitchell, who's been like one of the hardest workers that I've ever seen from the time I was covering her at Big Ten Network, watching her at Ohio State. And then Aaliyah Boston, who, prior to Caitlyn Clark coming on the scene, was another generational talent and is, right? Like, so it's like you think about the pieces that we have and putting that all together.
Lucky to be part of something that could change women's basketball forever. But it's not just about Caitlyn Clark. White is also excited about the future of the Fever team. Her long connection with Caitlyn gives her a deep understanding of Clark's strengths and weaknesses. She has seen Clark grow, overcome challenges, and work hard to become the player she is today. Remember when Caitlyn Clark was dominating college basketball? Stephanie White wasn't just another analyst praising her. White saw something others didn't. She focused not just on...
I hope, number one, for Caitlyn, that I can be a resource. Mm-hmm. I didn't have the same stuff that she has on a global scale. Mm-hmm. Thankfully we didn't have social media at the time, which amplifies everything. But I've been through it on a smaller scale. And so hopefully I can help her navigate, some of the extra stuff, while pushing her to be her best and challenging her to step outside of her comfort zone on the floor.
On Clark's flashy plays, but also on her basketball IQ and how she makes her teammates better. White even said, "I think she reads the game better than other stars." When Caitlyn Clark entered the WNBA, there was a lot of excitement and pressure.
I have the advantage of I was an opponent, right? And so scouting her and this is what we try to do to make you uncomfortable. This is how we game planned for you. And again, being that straight shooter, like okay, like these are the areas that we need to improve, you know, and putting those pieces together while also thinking about the holistic version of this team that we have, who is incredibly gifted on the offensive end of the floor.
Yeah.
You know, offense is what I love. And so trying to think about all these things that we can do. And
Clark lost her first 2 games, critics started talking, but White defended her, reminding everyone that even the best players need time to adjust. Then imagine Stephanie White coaching against Caitlyn Clark in the playoffs. Even though she was coaching the Fever, White couldn't help but be excited about what the team could do with Clark. She knew
heck, we had a staff meeting a couple of weeks ago in Indy, and it was like, guys, we got to scale it back. We're not going to be able to do all of this in year one. We're not going to be able to do all of this in training camp. Like, we're going to be able to. So staying ahead of the curve and watching all of these, you know, NBA games and EuroLeague games and thinking about the things that we can do is really exciting to me.
something special was coming. Finally, Stephanie White became the Fever's head coach. The first person she called was Caitlyn Clark. Their conversation was full of excitement. White was so happy, saying, "I spoke with Caitlyn last night, and I think we're about to do something amazing." Stephanie White's coaching style focuses on helping players reach their full potential, not just winning games. She believes this is the moment they've been waiting for, and she knows she has everything needed to create something special with Caitlyn Clark and the Fever. Purdue coach Kelly Kamar thought he had the perfect plan to stop Caitlyn Clark, foul her before she could take a shot. Sounds easy.
Caitlyn Clark is just at the epitome of the intersection of social media, of pop culture, and fan engagement in a way that we've never seen, and she's moving the needle forward for all athletes.
Right? But not when you're playing against a player like Clark. Here's where it gets wild. Caitlyn, with her incredible court awareness, somehow hears the coach's plan. As Purdue's Jayla Smith moves in to foul her, Clark does something amazing. She takes a shot, turns around without looking, and makes it. The shot didn't count because the foul was called before she released the ball.
You know, looking at all these things that people are talking about with Caitlyn Clark, it's like, guys, chill out. Like, she's gonna be fine. Like, it's 2 games in. Are you kidding me? She's a student of the game. She got better every year. You're not going to just absorb all of the new information that's coming at you in 2 games, in 2 weeks. It takes time, and she will. I have no doubt about it. She's a student of the game. She continues to get better, and these are also points that coaches then address. Hey, let's continue to work on this.
But that's not the point. In that moment, Clark showed why she's so special. Later, Coach Kamar laughed, amazed by how impossible it seemed to stop her. This moment proved that trying to stop Caitlyn Clark.
Yeah, it's exciting. You know, certainly I was born and raised in Indiana, and so have a lot of pride in Indiana basketball, and a lot of pride in the Fever organization, being a player and a coach there. And it's exciting what's happening with the organization and where they are. I mean, most organizations have their ups and downs, certainly. But I'm proud of the growth of the Indiana Fever. Excited, you know, about the future of the Indiana Fever. And
Clark is like trying to catch lightning in a bottle. That play wasn't just impressive, it showed Clark's unique ability to read the game, predict what will happen, and turn tough situations into something amazing. How many players can make a shot without looking at the basket while being fouled, after hearing the other team's plan? It's the kind of thing you'd expect in a movie.
What's your approach when you're coaching greatness like that?
yeah, you know, I think first and foremost, just talking basketball, right? Just having general basketball conversations about what she's watching, what she likes, you know, what are some of the things that what are some of her thoughts from, you know, not just what the Indiana Fever have done, but from the game of basketball in general.
Not a real game. But that's Caitlyn Clark. She doesn't just play basketball, she changes what's possible on the court. Coaches like Stephanie White are excited about the future because of talents like Clark. Now, let's look at the bigger picture. The Indiana Fever is completely transforming, and Caitlyn Clark is at the center of it all. The team's front office, which used to struggle, is now becoming a powerhouse. They've brought back Kelly Krauskopf as president, the mastermind behind their 2012 championship. They also hired Amber Cox as their new GM and COO, known for her great eye for talent. The Fever didn't just hire any coach,
I mean, let me tell you, so this is crazy. So it's the end of I don't know, maybe a quarter or half, I'm not sure which, but we were going to take a foul on her, right? And so Caitlyn Clark brings it over, and she brings it over close to where Katie Gerald's is, and we were going to tell Jayla Smith to foul. And so Katie said, "I'll tell you when." And so you can see Caitlyn like hear that.
Yeah.
They brought back Stephanie White. It's like putting together a dream team with Caitlyn Clark leading the way. White isn't just thinking about winning a few games.
Now, Jayla Smith goes to foul. She throws it up.
Yep.
Turns around. It goes in.
Yep.
It freaking goes in, and she didn't even see it. And then she starts going, and one. I'm like, oh my God.
She's focused on winning multiple championships. White sees Clark as the foundation for a future dynasty. But it's not just about Clark. White is also building a strong trio with Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. Imagine trying to stop.
Whatever you're scheming, whatever you're thinking you're going to try, like, I mean, we all just did our best, right?
Yeah,
we just did the best we could. And at the end of the day, it was what it was. But, you know, somebody like that, you know, everybody has to kind of cross their fingers and kind of throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks with her. And
stop that team. It would be a nightmare for any opposing coach. But White's vision isn't just about offense. She wants the Fever to be strong on both sides of the court. Aaliyah Boston, the #1 pick in the 2023 WNBA draft, has already been named an All-Star twice. Now, imagine her growing alongside Caitlyn Clark. That combination.
But it was pretty cool to experience Mackey Arena and Caitlyn Clark at the same time. I mean, it was pretty fun.
This moment, this impossible shot, it's more than just a highlight reel play. It's a perfect example of what makes Clark so special.
Could change the future of the WNBA. Don't forget about Kelsey Mitchell, who White says had the best year of her career. With Clark running the point, Mitchell's game could get even better. Plus, the Fever have experienced players like Lexi Hull and Grace Berger to strengthen the team even more. The Fever's plan is...
We had a lot more defensive weapons at our disposal. So, you know, and it's, I don't know how any college team really can prepare for a Caitlyn Clark, because you can't do it with one person. You know, and you can't do it one-on-one, right? Like it is a whole 5-man team effort. So let me just preface all that before you go.
Clear. They're not just building a team for next season, they're creating a foundation for long-term success in the WNBA. It's a bold strategy, but with all the talent they have, it might just work. As White said, this franchise has always been committed to winning, and I look forward to bringing another WNBA title to the greatest basketball fans in the world. The partnership between Stephanie White and Caitlyn Clark isn't just about a coach and player working together, it's a glimpse at the future of women's basketball, and everyone is excited. The Fever are building something special, and it's not just talk. With White's experience and Clark's talent, Indiana is ready to shake up the WNBA. Analysts are predicting big things, saying the Fever could be championship contenders sooner than expected.
It's our job then as coaches to continue to put them in positions to succeed, and our job as a franchise to put the pieces around them that will fill some of the gaps and fill some of the holes. And ultimately our goal is to win championships and to hang banners.
This isn't just about one season, we might be looking at a dynasty. So, are you excited? The Fever are on fire, and they're coming for the WNBA.